Hey, Michael. Andrew from the BBC. Let's start with West Brom. They haven't won in the last 3 games, which has hit their promotion playoff hopes. They could do with a big win. So how does that make them more dangerous opponents, do you think, on the weekend?
Does it make them more dangerous? I think that it's a really challenging opponent anyway. I think they've a team full of ability and well organised, a really good squad, and had a similar run to ourselves. So I think they'll have gained a lot of confidence and momentum from that. And I know, they might have had a mixed result or two over the last week or so, but I don't think that'll affect them too much. I think they're a good group, and we'll be expecting the best version of them.
Any injury concerns ahead of the game?
No, we're in good shape. Luckily, the boys have come through the recent games really well, and are looking forward to what's ahead.
You had to stay patient in the last game against Queen's Park Rangers, and it's said that part of your management style is that calmness and inculcating that with your players. Is that your assessment of what you're bringing and how your success is being translated into the successful outcome that the club's going through at the moment? I try and be myself, to be honest, and there's times to be calm. There's times when calm is not always the answer, but it's finding the right balance and the right moment to act in a certain way. But of course, I trust in the players immensely, and I think they trust each other, and that's grown in the belief and the confidence is grown over time. So that helps with the calmness and composure, because we've come through tests and games when we've been behind, or we've been chasing games, or we've been ahead in games, and the boys have overcome different challenges, and I think that helps with the calmness on the pitch as well. What's your assessment at the moment of the promotion race, yourself versus Sheffield United? They're not on such a rich reign of form as Middlesbrough, yet they have 4 points and a game in hand over you. So what would you rather have, the momentum or the points in the bag type thing?
Just happy being who we are, really, and the way we're played at the moment, and just concentrating on what we're doing. I think it's all that we can control, and it's all that really I'm bothered about at this moment in time. And the players have been fantastic, the group's been fantastic, and keep still not satisfied with how it's gone. We still want to get better and improve, and we'll be trying to do that between now and the end of the season.
There's a lot of hype about you individually and your team. How do you keep everyone's feet on the ground the way the season is going?
Just taking the next step, to be honest, not getting carried away. We take a lot of confidence and a lot of belief, and a lot of energy from how the boys have played, and how the atmosphere around the club at the moment is really good, and you've got to use that in some ways to carry on that momentum. But at the same point, when we have to perform and we're living it every day, there's a mindset that we have to have, where we understand from game to game it's a fresh new challenge. You got a whole new kind of performance to build and try to win a game. So we're not getting carried away by any stretch.
A word about John Motson, who sadly passed away. I mean, the voice of football, somebody who's dear to all of our hearts. What are your thoughts about his passing? Yeah,
it's very sad news. Really sad news. Is a huge part of me growing up watching football was listening to him and how he was describing games, and all the big moments that you remember. He was such a huge part of. So he'd be sorely missed, and it's a real sad day for football.
There's the Carabao Cup final on Sunday. Of course, you're a Manchester United legend, but you're also a man who grew up on Tyneside, and you know more than anyone, I guess, how much a trophy would mean to the fans back in Newcastle and wider Tyneside. So, I mean, who do you want to win, and who do you think will win?
It's not up to me, to be honest. I got a split really with my family, from Newcastle, but Manchester's a huge part of my life, or has been a massive part of my life. My kid's still there, but in terms of me personally, it's not for me to get involved. I hope it's a good game and may the best team win.
Thank you, thanks.
Hi Michael. West Brom, touched on it there. Obviously we saw their quality kind of in the earlier part of the season, once they changed the manager. Probably not so much recently, but do you think that the league table really tells the story of how good they are?
I think it's not so much the league table. I think it's the quality that they have as a group, the run that they've been on over a long period of time now, and the options that they have, and when you watch them, how well organised they are, and what a good team they are. Again, this league's kind of irrelevant from week to week where teams are in the league when you play them, because it's such a challenging league, whether top or bottom or mid-table. We found that ourselves in recent times, so the league table doesn't really come into it in that way when we're preparing to face other teams.
And just in terms of the challenge they'll pose to you, what kind of game are you expecting? Are you expecting to set up with them being on the front foot, or are you expecting to see a lot of the ball? How are you expecting it to play out?
Yeah, they obviously try to get on the front foot. They have done it in the games that we've seen, and are very good at it, and try to put you under pressure. So we'll expect that. Obviously, them being at home, we'll have them challenges to face, and we'll look forward to it.
And as a player, you've played at the Hawthorns. What are you impressing on the squad as what to expect when you get there?
What to expect? I think we've played at all different stadiums and different atmospheres. I think it's just concentrating on what we do and our focus and concentration going at the game. What we do to bring out the best in ourselves, and that's what we can control. We can control the atmosphere to an extent. We can't do it if we obviously quieten them down by how well we play. But again, that comes down to building performance and preparing right for us and what's best for us.
And in terms of the table, obviously we've talked about looking up the table, but also looking down. It's quite tightly packed. A couple of results can change the whole picture, as you said. Is that something that you're impressing on your players to keep the momentum going?
We just want to win the next game. Yeah, we've had a good run, and we've done an awful lot of good things without getting carried away. You know, we're still looking at things we can get better at and improve at, and that's it really. This stage it's plain and simple of looking forward to the next game and trying to be better than we were last week.
And lastly from me, just a word on Tommy Smith. Obviously he signed a new 2-year deal. You must be delighted that he's committed to that. How important has he been to this squad in the time you've been here?
Yeah, I'm really pleased. Tommy's been fantastic. He's a big part of the group, big part of what we do. He's one of the senior players, which we're fortunate enough to have a really good group of senior players, if you like, that are a great example to the younger boys within the group. And Tommy's definitely one of those. His performances, especially over the last few weeks, have gone up a level again, and he's a big part of what we do. So I'm delighted that he's committed, and we're delighted to have him, and even more important, he's delighted to be here and looking forward to what's ahead.
Fantastic, thank you very much.
Cheers.
Tommy's contract was obviously sorted. Johnny's another player who was out of contract in the summer. He was in the same situation last season, and it was left until after the end of the season, reasonably into the summer actually. Are you talking to Johnny at the moment, or is it going to be the same this year where that's shelved until the summer?
No, obviously we're planning ahead. I think that showed through the January window of what we were trying to do, and planning ahead and having a clear plan. And obviously we know what we want to, where we want to be at the end of the season and beyond. So we're dealing with that as it goes, as behind the scenes, and that's part of planning for the short term, but certainly the longer term as we'll build. So that's just work that we're doing constantly anyway.
And how difficult does that planning, or is that planning, given that obviously you're potentially planning for two very different things next season? Clearly we all hope it's the Premier League. That's going to be different to the Championship. Can you do a lot of planning at this stage in terms of things like contracts, targets and all that, or is it almost too pronged?
Nah, of course you can plan. You got to be realistic when you're planning. Yeah, of course you do. But we definitely have a clear idea of the direction we want to go in, how we want to grow the squad, the type of players that we're looking to bring into the group to try and improve. And good people as well, which is even more important. So yeah, we have a plan. It's not always easy. I said that before January. You always have a plan, and it might not always go because it's complicated, but we'll definitely be prepared for it.
You made obviously the changes to the side last weekend. I imagine you'll have been pretty pleased with the performances of the players who came in, gives you selection decisions to make. Don't want to keep constantly harking back to Man United days, but you were obviously at a club there where every week there was massive selection decisions and big players were disappointed. I mean, how much have you taken from that in terms of the way you handle this squad? Because there's players not even getting into the squad, never mind the team at the minute. So that, that's a difficult dynamic.
Yeah, it is. It can be. I think we try and we definitely include everyone because we appreciate everyone and how important every single player is and can be between now and the end of the season. And for the players, I think competition's good. I think it pushes you. It's healthy. The boys have been the training standards again over the last couple of weeks. I said it to you a few weeks back about training's gone up a level, and over the last couple of weeks again the standards gone up even more. In terms of the speed of play, the intensity, the quality of the football, and I think that only brings out the best in the players individually, but as a group I think they're gaining a lot of confidence from that and understanding in the direction that they're going in, and it's not every game's the be all and end all. Yeah, of course it's vital that you go into the next game and prepare, but as a player understanding that there's games coming up that you need to be ready for as well, and it's the bigger picture. And as much as we're all in for Saturday, and we are, there is the rest of the season to be in, and being part of the squad is you understand that, and when you're called upon and you're ready to play, you're playing like the boys done last week, and we'll start afresh this week and build a performance again. And the boys have been fantastic with that, and I think they understand the importance of pulling in the right direction and how far it can take you.
And with that in mind then, though, do you think it was important that at some stage you did what you did last weekend? Because clearly it was at the end of a long run of games, so there were potentially fitness issues, I accept that, but it's kind of hard for you to sit here and say that every week and then it never make the change, you know what I mean? At some stage did you feel like you kind of had to do that?
I wouldn't say I had to, no, but of course I said it to you all along, and I keep going on about how important the squad is, and every player plays a part in that, and it is easy to excuse me, it's easy for me to say that when we've won a game and then you go on and not changing. But I think that the boys are hopefully, and by how they're acting, how they are around the place and training, they all understand it. And last week was just, we felt it was a time to make a couple of changes and 3 changes, but fully believing that we as a team would still be very strong, and that's just part of it, between now and the end of the season, and maybe the boys getting used to it, that it will be the odd one here and there and little changes, and it's, as I just said, it's no big drama and big news just because there's one change. It doesn't mean that we've all fall out and he's not good and now he's the good player. It doesn't work like that at all, and I think we all understand that, and we're pretty clear with that.
And just lastly from me, I was just going to ask a little bit about the chairman, and you're obviously very level-headed, really, we see that. Steve, those of us who know him even remotely, know that he's the biggest fan in the world and is probably anything apart from level-headed when the team's winning like they are at the minute. When you have discussions with him, how much do you pick up on that? How much do you feed off that? What's your kind of dialogue like? Is it you trying to rein him in a bit, keep it on an even keep?
No, I think Steve's been incredible for this football club, and you can see, I've seen straight away meeting him, his passion for the club and for the area, and how much it means to him. And I think someone in his position, you should get excited and look forward. That's why he's in it, to achieve things and try and build this club and make it great. Again, in the top tier and pushing and trying to be better all the time. That's his dream, if you like. It's not for me to calm him down or to manage Steve. He's his own man, and he's done incredible things for the area. Again, it's for us who are in kind of building a team for a performance on a weekend. It's a little bit different, but I would never try and calm him down or fire him up, if you like, because he's sitting at the top, and he runs the whole thing, and he's done that incredibly well and given me unbelievable support since I've been here, and
at the same point, unbelievable support, but not interfering and letting us get on with it. And he's the biggest supporter. That's the best thing I can say. He's our biggest supporter, and you can really feel that.
And I know you're in your first job, so you've got nothing to compare it against. I take that. But do you like the fact that you've got that fan kind of at the top and one man as a put, because that's becoming increasingly rare at all levels, but certainly Championship and Premier League, to have that kind of one owner who is born and bred in the town and that. Do you value
I think
that?
it's just becoming more difficult because of the amount of the value in the game, really. That's probably the sole reason, which is understandable, you know. But I do feel very fortunate to be in this position and being at a club like this with so stable and calm and Steve at the head of it, understanding what it's all about, what it takes, and knowing it for someone in my position for the first time, the support that I might need, or not interfering certain times and putting too much pressure. Not that I would feel the pressure, but you understand what I mean. There's not that intensity. But it's all about supporting and obviously enjoying the ride and enjoying the emotion of it. That's exactly why he's in the position he is, for the love of it, and so he should be.
Well, just going back to kind of talking about the squad, I mean, one player who in recent weeks seems to, have an impact when he's coming off the bench, Matt Crooks, another assist at the week, and you must be delighted that he is continuously able to do that for you.
Yeah, I've said it pretty much every week. I've spoke to you of the importance of the squad and the group, and exactly that for Crooks. He's been, when you look back and the impact that he's had when he started, when he's come off the bench, pretty much every game in some way he's influenced in a real positive way. And even if he's been on the pitch 5 minutes, he's like Cardiff last week, he comes on and makes a big difference for us. And he's done that pretty much since he got fit, since I got here. Look, going back to kind of Norwich and Luton and before Christmas, he's had a massive impact. And even more than that, it's, again, going back to it, the person that he is, his attitude, his mentality, his training, he's incredible how he goes about it and how much of a team player he is, and that's when you see someone like that getting the benefits. It's the benefits that they really deserve. So I'm delighted for him.
Yeah, and there's kind of like, you'd call a player like that maybe like a super sub when they're able to come off the bench and do that, but it's quite a two-faceted thing, isn't it? Because from a playing point of view, I guess you don't want to be the sub though, you want to play, but
yeah, I wouldn't want to put that label on Crooksy. I think it's unfair. I think he's offered much more, and he'll definitely between now and the end of the season he'll offer a lot again, and I think it would be very unfair to label him with that, because I think he's much more important to us than that.
But equally important to have players you can rely on if they aren't starting. They've got that right mentality to come on and make that impact.
It's massive, yeah. To get success in the end, and to be a good team with a good squad, you need a good squad and you need good people, and you need the players at certain times to make that difference and to be in the right frame of mind and to be able to come on and make the difference, or to start and make a difference. Mentality and the attitude's just huge. Seeing talent is one thing, but being able in the right frame of mind to produce is a totally different thing. And to be fair to the boys at the moment, they're all in a good place and positive and looking forward and supporting each other in an incredible way.
Yeah, and just going back to Tommy Smith and his new contract, he's increasingly appears to be becoming important in terms of his leadership and experience off the pitch as well. Clearly, there's a desire at this club to build around young players and assets, if you like, but still important to have that balance within the squad of experienced leaders like Tommy.
100%. I think to build something, you need a foundation, and a foundation for the club, the stability that we just spoke about, and stability from us as coaching staff to be consistent with our messages. And then you need the foundation of a group of players that you can rely on and trust each other, and that they look after each other just as much as anything. And senior players are important in that. I've been fortunate enough to have good examples of that from my early days at West Ham to up through to at United, and so I know how important that is for younger players to have, and we're blessed with that. I'm very lucky to have the number of senior players, really good examples for the rest of the group here, and it's vital that we work with them and use them and their knowledge, and how powerful that can be.
Yeah, and just going back to when we were talking about forward planning as well, I'm wondering, particularly at the moment where obviously focus has got to be so much on, what's coming next, the next game, etc. Do you still find time to kind of keep a close eye on the lads out on loan at the moment and coming back in the summer?
Yeah, of course we do. Yeah, you've got a setup and a number of staff who work with them, liaise with them, look after them, and obviously feed it back up to us. And we're fully aware of the boys' situations, how they're doing, if they're in the team, out the team, how they're playing, and of course that's a big part of it. And as I said before, the short term, the here and now, what's happening this week, next week, what's going to plan for the summer and the transfer window, and obviously young players and players coming back into the group. It all fits the bigger picture.
Yeah, and presumably your message to them, keep going until the end of the season, and we'll have a look in pre-season.
Yeah, I've said that before. It's great experience for especially the younger boys going out on loan, and sometimes it's a good experience, sometimes it's a tougher experience, but actually them different and a variety of experiences will help them in the end, and hopefully they come back to us, better people, better players, and they can develop and learn as they go and come back in a good place.